Hi, everyone. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Daily BizLink. This is our last episode of 2020, and Jane Cebrynski is back. Jane, what are we talking about today?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? We are talking about reflection. And I love how, so many people have been like, peace out 2020. We can't wait to put it behind us. But I feel like, you know what? We need to take a minute and really kind of honor 2020 for the hard times, the good times, the fun times, whatever that is. But really, there's some power in just taking some time to be still and reflect on this season.
Yeah, well, I'll be the first one to admit on my holiday card this year, it said peace out 2020. So I was definitely one of them. But at the same time, I agree. Doing a little reflection before we move forward, I think is a really healthy exercise for all of us. So if we do a little reflection, Jane, what would you encourage us to think a little bit more about as we enter the new year?
Well, there's this great quote that says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So, we granted there's been a lot of names that 2020 has been called, not all of them very pleasant. But if we can look back on this year, maybe a little bit differently, we may see some things differently. So, what I would love to encourage everyone to do is just take 10 minutes before the year ends and just be still. And in that stillness, allow yourself to really reflect on this year. I think a lot of times too, we forget first quarter happened before the pandemic, so many of us have just forgotten that there was a first quarter. And I'm sure that there was a lot of wins and a lot of successes in that first quarter. And so, my thought is, okay, because we always anchor in 10 moments, which by the way, I forgot to ask you. So I would recommend that everybody just take some time and think about, what were the 10 moments? And maybe, identify 10 things you're grateful for, 10 challenges that you faced and you overcame. That can remind us of our resilience. It can remind us of our courage and our ability to get through difficult times.
And that it reminds me a lot of some of our previous conversations about, feeling uncomfortable and how that's, a great growth opportunity for us. Cause I know not only for myself, but for a lot of my friends, this year felt uncomfortable at times because we were stretched and pushed to like new limits. So I think if anything, we could focus in on how have we grown personally and professionally in 2020, and how will that set us up for success in 2021?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is going to be a year remembered as the year everybody wants to forget. But within this year, there are so many amazing, amazing gifts and accomplishments. And that is not to disregard the hardships and the grief and the sadness that was also experienced. But even in all of that, there's tremendous growth. And therefore, that's a gift.
Well, I think this sounds like a great exercise. So everybody should take a little bit of time, maybe today, maybe it's tomorrow. I know people have time off of work over the next couple of days. So take some time for some reflection. Think about those 10 moments. I think that sounds like an awesome challenge as we enter the new year. So Jane, is there anything else you would encourage our listeners to think about as we kick off 2021?
I would just tell them maybe, take some time and write it down. Do a little journaling, even if that's not your favorite thing to do. You're going to want to look back on this time, or you're going to pull this out for kids or grandkids and share this time. And you're going to be able to, reflect on your own. And especially as we head into 2021, we're still faced with some of the same obstacles and challenges. And this will be a great reminder of what we're able to accomplish.
Well, Jane, appreciate you being here, being a trusted partner here in the business community that's helped set us up for success all throughout the year. And we are so excited to continue these conversations going into 2021.
Me too. And it's been a 10 moment to share these with you weekly since March.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Jane. All right, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks, Lindsay.